2 months after the events of the second season, the new B Komachi is enjoying its best moment yet. Their song, Pop In 2, has climbed to the top of the national popularity charts, driven by an innovative music video created by Anime and Jimura. However, much of the impact also comes from Ruby, who breaks away from her former sweet image and adopts a darker, resentment-filled expression that strongly captures the public's attention. Riding this success, Emi Cho pushes collaborations with popular YouTubers and keeps the group's channel consistently active, boosting their visibility to a total of 360,000 subscribers. At the same time, Ruby begins to establish herself as an actress in major productions, while Aqua Hoshino also gains recognition. He appears on viral online shows, lands small roles in well-known films, and works as a model, showcasing an increasingly solid career. Although the group shows great chemistry on camera, things are different off-screen. Kana Arima grows emotionally distant and avoids spending time with the others, affected by the now official relationship between Aqua and Akane Kurokawa. Ruby, meanwhile, appears colder and more focused on her own goals. Even so, B Komachi's second concert is a resounding success. They sell over 1,000 tickets in just 1 hour and perform at a stadium reserved for top-tier artists. While fans celebrate, some begin to notice unsettling changes in Kana and Ruby, mistakenly interpreting them as signs of a new member joining the group. The reality, however, is far more painful. After the concert, Memcho talks with Kana and then decides to confront Aqua directly. During their conversation, she learns that he plans to study medicine and become a doctor, while continuing to work tirelessly on his entertainment career. Memcho scolds him for how he has treated Kana, but Aqua explains that his distance is intentional and meant to protect her from the dangerous fanaticism often found in the idol world. This revelation helps Memcho realize that Aqua is also suffering and acting out of concern. Later on, Aqua notices that Ruby has changed as well. She is now more strategic and ambitious. His suspicions deepen when she appears on the same program as him, revealing that Ruby herself arranged her participation. Determined to understand her, Aqua begins an investigation that leads him to Ichigo Saito, the original manager of Bikomachi, making it clear that Ruby is still hiding deeper motivations. Ruby proves that she still has many surprises in store when she manages to track down Ichigo Saito, the first representative of B Komachi and Ai's former manager. Her true goal is to obtain information from him about the people who were close to her mother before the incident. Although Saito is reluctant to get involved in a possible quest for revenge, fearing it could harm Miyako's agency and put him at odds with powerful figures in the industry, it is clear that he has played a decisive role in Ruby's transformation, making her far more calculating. The two made a pact. Saito would agree to represent the new B Komachi only if Ruby reached a level of fame comparable to Ai's. To boost her rise, Saito advises Ruby to appear more frequently on the controversial reality show in which Aqua participates, but he also assigns her a clear strategy: to build a persona completely opposite to her brother's. While Aqua projects a serious and analytical image, Ruby must present herself as sweet, naive, and clumsy. This contrast works, as Ruby manages to stand out on the program, arousing Aqua's suspicions, since he begins to sense that someone is guiding her from behind the scenes. Beyond shaping her public image, Saito teaches Ruby the importance of relationships within the industry. He advises her to treat assistant directors with respect and kindness, as many of them will eventually become influential directors. This is how we meet Yoshizumi, an exhausted assistant director who is being exploited at work and who is surprised by Ruby's considerate treatment, so different from the attitude he receives from his superiors. Through him, and with an explanation from Aqua, the harsh hierarchy of the industry is revealed, along with the immense pressure placed on the lowest ranks under the strict authority of director Urushibata. Tensions rise when the show plans a cosplay episode based on Tokyo Blade. Yoshizumi faces major difficulties securing cosplayers due to copyright issues. Ruby decides to help by inviting her friend Minami, while Yoshizumi turns to his sister, Mimi, a popular VTuber. However, at the last moment, the production loses the rights to the work, forcing them to change the entire theme. Although they manage to adapt at the last minute, Yoshizumi is pushed to the brink of collapse, fully aware that the success of the program and his own professional future hang by a thread. After completing the preparations, Ruby Hoshino, Minami, and Mimi come together to work as cosplayers on the program. They are joined by Maya, an experienced cosplayer whose content is aimed at an adult audience. Although everything seems ready for filming, Maya feels uncomfortable due to the cold and disrespectful treatment she perceives from the production staff. The event begins on a positive note, and the girls enjoy showing off their elaborate costumes. But the atmosphere changes with the arrival of director Urushibara. After criticizing several cosplayers, he focuses his attention on Maya and conducts an interview filled with personal questions related to her adult-oriented work, making the situation extremely uncomfortable. Although she responds professionally, the experience leaves her deeply upset. After the event, Maya posts a message on social media denouncing the television industry's mistreatment of cosplayers, the indirect harassment, and the production's lack of respect. She also reveals that her Tokyo Blade costume was discarded at the last minute. The post quickly goes viral, triggering massive public backlash, widespread criticism, and a drop in the show's viewership. In response to the controversy, Yoshizumi, the assistant director, tries to apologize and persuade her to delete the post, but Maya refuses. Eventually, the program decides not to air the cosplay episode to avoid potential lawsuits. The situation takes a heavy emotional toll on Yoshizumi, pushing him into a personal crisis. At that point, Ruby proposes a solution, recording a special episode in which Maya is invited back to openly discuss the conflict and receive a public apology. Surprisingly, the production agrees to the idea. Ruby manages to convince Maya by emphasizing that the issue goes beyond her personal experience and could negatively affect future cosplayers appearing on television. During the debate, the production explains that the costume change was due to copyright issues. Through a report led by Kana Arima, the perspective of Abiko Samajima, the creator of Tokyo Blade, is presented. She explains that she strictly supervises all collaborations involving her work to prevent the exploitation of her characters. After learning this, Maya gains a better understanding of the situation and softens her stance. As a final gesture of apology, Ruby arranges for Urushibara to dress up as a Tokyo Blade character, publicly demonstrating respect for cosplay. The episode concludes with Maya accepting the apology and promising to delete her post, while Aqua begins to suspect that Ruby is no longer the naive girl she once was, and that someone else may be guiding her from behind the scenes. Ruby, noticing that Aqua is suspicious of her, decides to confess the whole truth to him. She explains that she merely replicated the strategies he himself used in the past, such as manipulating the controversy of a romantic reality show to solidify a fake relationship with Akane and turn her into a tool for his own benefit. Ruby explains that she was the one who planned the show's controversy from the very beginning, making it clear that nothing happened by chance. In reality, Ruby was never interested in Yoshizumi, but in Urushihara. After saving him, she forced him to repay her by involving her in all of the director's future projects, thus securing a constant presence in the industry and a steady growth in her popularity. In addition, Ruby intentionally invited Maya to the program, knowing that her history of scandals would trigger a media backlash. She admits that she used both Maya and Urushihara without remorse, clarifying that she never considered Maya a friend and that, in fact, she despises her for being a snitch. Ruby also expresses her hatred toward the sensationalist media that attacked her mother in the past. Aqua, seeing how far his sister has gone, shows deep disappointment and states that he misses the Ruby driven by passion and love, whose dream was to become an idol out of genuine vocation. Ruby, however, justifies her actions by saying that her mother also lived a lie by hiding the existence of her children. As time passes, Ruby's fame skyrockets. She wins the award for Best Female Artist of the Year, lands more modeling jobs, and leads the new Bikalachi to enormous popularity, constantly being compared to Ai. Although Memcho and Kana are happy about her success, they also feel stuck due to Ruby neglecting rehearsals. Meanwhile, Miyako faces more responsibilities as director, now supported by Yoshizumi, who becomes Ruby's personal manager. At the same time, Aqua tries to convince Ichigo to return and help Miyako, but he refuses, determined to take revenge for Ai's death. However, Ichigo reveals that Aqua is mistaken. The man he believed to be his father could not have been the killer, which implies that the real culprit is still alive. This revelation causes an emotional collapse in Aqua, leading him to isolate himself and reopening the dilemma between living a normal life or fully devoting himself to revenge. Finally, Akane, while shining as a breakout actress, discovers recordings of an old actor who looks very similar to Aqua. After analyzing them, she reaches a terrifying conclusion. The true father of Aqua and Taiki is Hikaru Kamiki, the real murderer of Ai.